Glaives are a load of fun, and today I'm going to focus on a Warlock Void build with the Glaive front and centre. I'm going to be picking up some weapons, exotic armour and some mods and putting them all together so you can run around Destiny 2 like a Stabby space wizard, causing mayhem as you go. Well, if you're new around here, I find this useful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below for all the latest Destiny 2 content and turn on notifications by hitting that bell. And roughly 98% of viewers who watch This Week in Video Games aren't subscribed, so subscribe today and never miss an update. So there's two main focuses for this build, the Glaive and grenades. So in my book, Glaives are pretty underrated and also a hell of a lot of fun. They may not be in the best spot in the game right now, but that didn't stop me from playing most of the campaign and post-campaign with my trusty Glaive. Well, today I want to feature the Glaive in a build and elevate it with mods and exotics to see what we can create. Well, the Glaive's damage output is already pretty impressive, but I'm going to be adding to it with elemental well mods like Font of Might and Suppressing Glaive, and the exotic that brings this all together is Verity's Brow. That's going to increase our grenade damage, and also we are going to be throwing a lot of grenades. And our grenades are going to recharge nice and fast, as well as our teammates' grenades too. Well, the Glaive is going to be activating a couple of Void 3.0 fragments, namely Echo of Exchange and Echo of Leeching. So with the melee final blows, they're going to grant grenade energy, meaning our Glaive is going to be fueling our grenades as well. And then we got the melee final blows to start health regeneration for us and our allies, and that is going to happen through the Echo of Leeching. So our Glaive kills are going to basically help us heal, and also providing grenade energy too. So without further delay, let's jump into this Glaive Warlock Void 3.0 build in Destiny 2. So let's have a look at the build in a little bit more detail. So first of all, we have the exotic armour, and I'm using Verity's Brow. This one comes with the perk, the Fourth Magic. So weapon final blows with the damage type matching your subclass energy grant death throws, which provide grenade bonus damage and grant you grenade energy. So when you got death throws and you throw a grenade, nearby allies also gain increased grenade regeneration for a short time. So this is going to work really well with our Glaive build, given when you're using a Void Energy Glaive on a Void subclass, meaning death throws are going to be active a lot. You're going to be boosting your grenade regen, as well as your fire team's grenades as well. So if you did want to switch things up with the exotics, you can also check out Nezrak's Sin. That comes with the perk Abyssal Extractors. That's going to help your void damage kills increase ability energy and the recharge rates. That's really, really good too. Next up, let's have a look at the subclass. This is Void 3.0 on the Warlock. So for the class ability, it's a Healing Rift. Any super. For the grenade, I'm using Vortex Grenade, and for the melee, well, that is Pocket Singularity. So looking at the aspects, I'm using Child of the Old Gods, so cast your Rift to summon a Void Soul, and when you damage an enemy with your weapon, your Void Soul will launch itself towards them and detonate nearby, attaching Draining Tendrils, and they deal damage and weaken the target, and when your Void Soul deals damage, it restores either melee and grenade energy, if you're running a Healing Rift, or health, if you're running a Empowering Rift. So I'm running a Healing Rift here, so that is going to restore grenade energy, so again, going to work really, really well with the build. Next up, I'm using Feed the Void, so defeat a target with Void ability to activate Devour, and while Devour is active, final blows restore health, and extend Devour too. Well, next up, let's have a look at the fragments. So Echo of Expulsion, Void ability kills cause enemies to explode, and you've also got an intellect bonus as well. We've got the Echo of Undermining, Void grenades weaken enemies, and you've got a discipline penalty. So we've got Echo of Exchange, and melee final blows grant grenade energy, and it is worth pointing out your Glaive kills are going to proc this. Then Echo of Leeching, melee final blows start health regeneration for you and nearby allies. Again, the Glaive is going to really, really help out here. Well, next up, let's have a look at the weapons. So in your Kinetics slot, you can pretty much use anything you want. I'm using Outbreak Perfected. This is an exotic kinetic pulse rifle, still one of the best in the game. Now, I really like it because it's solid in many, many situations. And given the Glaive is quite close quarters, this one is going to give you some range. You can get this one from the exotic kiosk in the tower. For the energy weapon, I'm using the Enigma, and this is one of the focuses of the build, and this is our Void Glaive. Then in the power slot, I'm using Threaded Needle, so it's a decent Void power weapon with range, so that is going to be needed given our close range for most of our play with the Glaive. Finally then, let's have a look at the mods we're using. So first of all, Unstoppable Glaive. So Glaives, you wield fire a powerful explosive payload that stuns unshielded combatants, and that does work on other enemies other than champions, by the way. So with Volatile Flow, picking up a Void Elemental Well grants your Void weapons volatile rounds. That's going to work with our energy in our power weapons because they are void weapons. Then I'm using overload grenades, so void grenades disrupt combatants, stunning them, delaying ability energy regeneration and lowering combatant damage output. That is strong against overload champions, but of course it is used against other enemies as well. And given we're going to be throwing grenades left, right and centre, the overload grenade mod is going to come in really handy. Well, next up I'm using suppressing glaives, so damaging combatants with your glaive suppresses them, preventing them from using the abilities for a short time. It's going to work really well with our glaive. Then I'm using Font of Might, so picking up an elemental well that matches your subclass energy type grants a temporary bonus to weapon damage that is the same element type. Then I'm using elemental ordnance, so defeating a combatant with a grenade spawns an elemental well that matches your subclass energy type, so I'm going to be throwing grenades all over the place, so this is going to spawn wells. That's going to work really well with the previous mod, Font of Might. Talking about elemental wells, next up I'm using Well of Tenacity, so picking up a void elemental well reduces the damage that you take from combatants for a short period of time, so that is going to give you some good protection while you're in combat. And then finally, Bountiful Wells, so elemental well mods cause you to spawn elemental wells can now stack, spawning additional wells for each additional copy of the mod you have equipped. Well, that is it for the build. Run around, cause mayhem with the glaive, and I think this one is a whole load of fun, especially with those mods as well. So with the overload grenades and the unstoppable glaive, it's also really good for endgame PvE content. But really, try this one out. I think it's really good fun, and let me know in the comments what you think of this build, and also if you've got any improvements. Well, that is it for this Glaive Warlock Void 3.0 build in Destiny 2, and as always, thank you so much for watching. For more Destiny 2 content like this, hit that subscribe button down below and subscribe to This Week in Video Games. Or you can check me out on Twitter at TWIVG Podcast. If you enjoyed this video, found it useful, liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, check out the other videos on the channel. Well, thanks again, and I'll see you soon.